here with your quick introduction on how to use Microsoft Equation Editor for your online assignments. Now, there are lots of upsides and downsides to using this way of entering stuff. And it's all really a matter of what your personal preference is and what your skill set is. But usually most of the issues that people run into with Microsoft Equation Editor can be fixed through just a little bit of practice and knowing where the shortcuts are. Generally, the big complaints are that sometimes people aren't quite sure how to get to all the stuff that they need to get to, and partly that sometimes just entering things in can be a little bit challenging. So what I'm going to try and do here is just run you through some of the most basic types of things that you might need to type in for an assignment right now. Without further ado, let's go right into it. So let's say you're in the middle of your assignment and you need to type in, let's say, a fraction. So I've already done one up here. So I'm going to just gonna tab over here and we're gonna try and make the same thing here. So the first thing that you're gonna do, the first way that you can enter into the equation editor feature is you go to Insert and then you choose Equation right over here. And you notice there's a drop-down menu here, and it opens some commonly used equations. Some of them might look familiar, some of them might not. You're welcome to use those, and it will just pop one of those into your document. But generally speaking, all you have to do is just click on the pi symbol here. I'll show you the other way in the next example, but we'll stick with that for now. So let's say we want to make a fraction. So now we're in the equation editor and it says type equation here. So you can type stuff in if you want. You're also going to notice along the top that there is a whole bunch of different symbols, a whole bunch of different menus over here, and gives you lots of options here. So let's see, over here let's say we have a proper time symbol, we have a proper divide symbol, so you don't have to type those in. You even have a square root symbol. I wouldn't recommend that one, but it's an option there. We have less than, we have less than, we have greater than, we have greater than or equal to, we have less than or equal to, which we'll talk about in a little while. We have approximately equal to, which we've dealt with before. And if you scroll over, you have a whole bunch more symbols that we haven't even dealt with yet, and a lot of them you won't even deal with in high school. But they are there as you need them. If you decide to go into a university program that needs a math course, then you might use some of those other ones. By the way, the pi symbol is also here just in case you ever need it, and you probably will if you're using this for all of your assignments. So now let's go into the stuff that's actually going to help us make a fraction, because it's not just as simple as a symbol that we can plop into our equation here. So there's one of two ways that we can do this. The first way is that we can click on the fraction tool, and you see a whole bunch of different options here. You can try some of the other ones in certain circumstances. Usually we like to keep it simple. We're just going to stick with the basic like vertical fraction symbol. And then we can just type in 1 and 2 as our numerator and denominator. So that's not too difficult, but it takes a little bit of time. So there's one other option that you can do here. Let's say if you wanted to do this without having to use any of those menus or anything, the first thing that you're going to do is, I can't remember on Windows. On Mac, it is Control equals. It's either Control equals or Alt equals. So you're going to click, I believe it's, Alt, and then you hit the equal sign, which is right next to backspace. And then it just opens up an equation automatically without having to open up the menu. You can still go back and use it if you want, but it's a bit of a time saver. And then the next thing you need to know is if you don't want to actually have to scroll through the menus to find the fractions, you can just type in 1/2, just like that. And you get 1/2. Okay? So that is how you would do that. Let's talk about something a little bit different. Let's talk about brackets. Now, just like before, you can just use the menu if you want, and you can click on Alt equals, or if you're on Mac, Control equals. That's going to give you a type equation here, the equation editor box. And if it doesn't pop up, you can see the equation tab up top here. You can click on that to open if you want. But let's say you can actually go in and type with with the keyboard if you want, and you can do 3/4. But you notice the trouble is that when you make it into a fraction, the bracket stays the same height. It looks a little bit odd having that short bracket when our fraction is so tall. If you take a look at the one on the left, it's nice and tall and it fits around it. So if you want to do that, there are one of two ways that you can do that. The first way is that, let's get rid of this. We're just going to highlight our fraction. When we highlight it, we're choosing what we want to go inside the brackets. And next, we're going to look up at the top and we see a little menu that says, a drop-down box that says bracket. And we can choose all sorts. For most of the stuff that we're using right now, we're going to use either the round brackets or the square brackets. The other ones have different meanings and we don't usually use them too much at the stage of the game. So we're going to stick with the round brackets. And when you do that, it actually naturally makes them the right height. So that is one way that you could do that. And the last way, we're going to do Alt equals again. If you want to make your brackets tall, you can actually do it with the keyboard. So you're going to do round bracket 3/4. We're going to hit the space bar. In general, space bar is what tells the equation editor to put it into proper formatting. So that's going to do that. So it takes fractions and puts them into proper formatting. But let's take our round brackets and let's close them using the right round bracket. And now it looks incorrect. But now we're going to hit that spacebar again. And what you're going to notice is when we do that, the equation editor goes and fixes our round brackets so they're the right height. Okay? So that is another way that you can do that. Actually, before we go on to exponents, I'm going to show you one more thing that you can do here. Let's say you had something like where you had a few different things that you wanted to put in your numerator. Let's say something like if I wanted to do x plus 4 all in the numerator over 2. If we try to do that, you're going to notice that we want the x plus 4 to be in the numerator, but it looks like it only put the 4 into the numerator. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back again, just hit my undo button. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some brackets and we're going to put it around what we want to go in the numerator. And what's going to happen here is we're going to hit enter and it takes all that stuff and it puts it all into the numerator for us. So we can actually have a couple of things in the numerator if we want to. Okay. The other way that you could do that is you can just hit the fraction button and then you can type whatever you want in there. Either way. Now, last thing I'll show you in this video is how to do exponents. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit Alt equals or Control equals if you're on a Mac computer. And I'll show you the drop-down box way first. We're going to click on, it says script, and you notice that there is an e to the power of x. And you notice how there is a whole bunch of different options here. There's one that kind of looks like it would have an exponent, but just has some blank boxes. So we're going to click on that, and you can type in what you want up top. So that is one way that you can get the exponents in the equation editor. The second way is either click on Insert Equation or do Alt equals. And all you have to do is just like we mentioned before, usually the party hat, which is Shift-6, is our way of typing in exponents. And what you're going to do here is we're going to do 3 party hat 4, which we know when we type into an online calculator gives us 3 to the power of 4. They're the same thing. And when we hit the spacebar, it's telling the equation editor, I want you to format this properly. And it turns it into 3 to the power of 4. So that's going to handle most of the types of inputs that you're going to have to use at this stage of the game. As you go through your high school career, you're going to learn new types of notation that you need to notate. So if you choose to go the word route, I will tell you that pretty much everything I've taught pretty much all the way till the end of grade 12, and I haven't seen a single type of notation that you cannot do in the equation editor. So as you continue along, keep looking for the different ways to notate this stuff if you continue on with Word. And hopefully by the end, you're going to be a pro at this and you can type stuff up very easily and it shouldn't give you too much trouble. Okay. So again, please, if you have any questions, please do shoot me a message. But beyond that, hopefully this gives you a quick introduction to the equation editor and hopefully should make your assignments a little bit more effortless. All right. Thanks, everyone.